Mizzou versus Georgia, the preview. Chris, talk to me a little bit about the Tigers.
Let's go, Missouri, man. The feel-good team of the year in college football. 7-1, Christian, you know that. Only loss was in a super tight game against LSU a few weeks ago. That was a high-scoring affair like every other game LSU ever plays in. But, Missouri, right behind Georgia in the SEC East standings, man. I'm telling you, this is their chance, right? This is going to be everything this week for Missouri. One of the biggest games they'll probably ever play in, to be honest. So a few keys though for me in this game for Missouri to even make this close. I think they're 16-point underdogs, honestly, if I got that correct. But they got to give Brady Cook some time, man. This kid has been underrated this year. He's played well. I've watched him play a ton. He's athletic. He could run. They're going to have to get some time for him against Georgia's, front four and in that linebacker group. But we talk about this a lot on the show. Georgia's defense isn't the defense of last year or the year before. We know that. I think everybody with a set of eyes knows that this year. So they're susceptible to some of the big plays. I throw the ball to my best player. That's Luther Burton III. You guys hear me talk about him all the time. He's right behind Marvin Harrison, man. This kid's like fourth in receiving yards. He's up there in touchdowns. This kid's electric. He was a 5-star. He was actually one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver coming out of high school a few years ago out of the state of Missouri, decided to stay home. I'm telling you, if Missouri wants a chance to win this game, they got to throw the ball down the field to this kid. He is awesome. He's a smaller version of Marvin Harrison, but damn, he's good, man. Overall, though, I think where this game is also won and lost, if you're Mizzou and want to make this thing close, defensively, they're going to have to find a way to get some pressure on Carson Beck. If you give Beck a clean pocket, we've seen it time in and time out this year. He just lights people up. You guys might not have the best set of receivers out there in the country, but Carson Beck's been picking people apart all season long. That's why he's in the Heisman race. So, Christian, I want to kick it over to you for the Georgia man, which is exactly what you are.
Well, and thank you, by the way, for that. I think the thing that makes this so interesting is the wide receiver group in Georgia is quietly, to me, it's one of the more underrated groups in the country because one of the guys that they have is Dominic Lovett, who was a receiver at Mizzou last year, to be exact. Right. So this is a bit of an interesting game against his old team there. Carson Beck, you touched on it, Chris. I mean, he's been pretty much lights out this year. Same thing with Brady Cook. The thing to me, Chris, is we touched on it. Georgia's ability to still play really good offense, right, without their typical production in the run game. I mean, Edwards is kind of coming back here. He's been back for a couple weeks now. 95 carries, 556 yards, 8 touchdowns. So he's looked pretty good, and he started the year off kind of banged up. So did Kendall Milton. They've all really done well. And last week against Florida, with Brock Bowers being out, you were wondering how was Georgia's offense going to roll. They still have Oscar Delp. They still have some great wide receivers that can make things happen for them. Georgia right now, Chris, we touched on it before we get on the show. Number 4 in the country in total offense.
Wow.
Which is not typical of what, I mean, they're good on offense. They're top 25, top 30 every year in offense, I feel like, but they've taken it to that next level that you want to see. And defensively, you're right. They're going to give up some explosive plays, but the thing that I like about Kirby and the thing I like about my Dogs is they make in-game adjustments. You might burn them once, you might burn them twice, but I can guarantee you won't burn them with the same trick 3 times.
Yeah.
So for that, I'll give you my prediction. Give me Georgia 35, Mizzou 28.
Jesus, we're close. I got Georgia at 35, so we hit the nail on the head there with the 35 number. I got Mizzou though at 20.